Who are you people?
We have very little time, Mr. Neary. We need answers from you. They're honest, direct, and to the point.
Who are you
N'avez-vous
people?
pas fait récemment une rencontre?
Have you recently had a close encounter?
I want to speak to someone in charge.
Une rencontre plutôt inhabituelle?
I want to lodge a complaint.
A close encounter with something very unusual.
What the hell is going on around here? Who the hell are you people?
Close encounters of the first kind. Sighting of an unidentified flying object. Close encounters of the second kind. Physical evidence of a UFO. Close encounters of the third kind. Actual contact.
Hello and welcome to this week's Notes from a Sketchbook podcast. I'm Kirk and I'll be introducing this week's subject, which is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I'm doing an outside broadcast today, taking Daisy the dog for a walk. She's having a good time. It's cold, but I'll tell you what, it's lovely out. So anyway, without further ado, here is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Close Encounters of the Third Kind is a science fiction film directed by Steven Spielberg based on a short film he shot called Firelight when he was only 17. Encounters, released in 1977, tells the story of a group of people who have encountered a UFO and the government's attempts to keep the event a secret. After the success of Jaws, financially and critically, Steven Spielberg was given a significant amount of creative freedom by Columbia Pictures to make Close Encounters of the Third Kind. However, the pressure built as soon as production began. Columbia Pictures were on the verge of bankruptcy, and its future would depend on the film's success. In Close Encounters of the Third Kind, a 3-year-old boy named Barry wakes up to find his toys have come alive. As Barry notices something strange off screen, he runs into the woods with his mother, Gillian, chasing after him. Our main protagonist is introduced, Roy Neary, played by Richard Dreyfuss, as he experiences a close encounter and chases after the mysterious lights, where he meets a group of people, including Gillian and Barry, who all witness and experience a close encounter. Roy becomes increasingly preoccupied with his experience and starts to neglect his family and responsibilities. He is driven to leave his family because of an obsession with a mysterious encounter he had with an identifying flying object. He's plagued by vivid nightmares and visions of a mountain-like shape. Obsessively, he makes the shape out of shaving foam, mashed potatoes, and finally he destroys his house with a sculpture of dirt in what was once his living room. The scene with the aforementioned potatoes at the dinner table is more emotional and scary than the unknown encounter, as it shows a family on the verge of collapse, with Roy's gradual breakdown, neurosis, and the destruction of his family unit that brings about the most disturbing sequences. Encounters was not specifically based on Steven Spielberg's family. However, Spielberg has said that the character of Roy Neary, played by Richard Dreyfuss, is loosely based on his own experiences as a child and his own obsessions with movies and filmmaking. It certainly is a deeply personal piece of work, and, like his next feature, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, deals with the separation of family, which is echoed in his own experiences growing up with divorced parents. Roy's obsession with the mental image of a mountain, which soon becomes all-encompassing, slowly drives a wedge between him and his wife, played by Terry Garr. Again, like in Duel and Jaws before it, the main character of Roy is just an everyman. The guy next door who ambles along. He's not special. Again, he's you and me. And his close encounter completely alters the balance of his life. It is this attack on a family man's normality that makes Close Encounters such an unsettling film. However, the best scene in the movie is when Barry, the small child who we were introduced to earlier on in the film, finally gets abducted. Starting with the famous 5-note tune of as Barry plays on the xylophone, while his mother is obsessively sketching the same mountain as in Roy's sculpture. Spielberg shows off his suspension horror skills. The moment the light shines through the keyhole, and when the door opens, bathing the scene in an ominous glow, is one of Spielberg's best ever committed to film. This scene is one that I chose to paint as it is truly iconic. The rest of the scene continues and is just pure magic. The music of Johnny Mathis never sounded so eerie. I'm sure the point of view camera work of the mysterious presence rushing down the chimney definitely influenced Sam Raimi and the Evil Dead series. More recently, Jordan Peele's Nope has taken inspiration from the ominous sky that appears in the scene and what may hide behind it. 6 minutes or so of sheer terror. It's Spielberg at his very best. Spielberg has said he grew up in a household where his father was often working on computers and his mother was more emotional and artistic. Although Spielberg believes that any possible communication between extraterrestrials would probably be mathematical based, he chose to make the central premise of music as a way to communicate, perhaps to a nod to his closeness with his mother, as it would deliver a more emotional and spiritual experience. Unlike the science fiction films of the 50s and 60s, which were influenced by the Cold War and depicted alien visitors as a great threat, Close Encounters reflects themes of searching for a meaning and understanding the face of the unknown, the power of communication, and the potential for peaceful coexistence between different beings. The film also raises questions about the nature of reality and the possibility of other forms of intelligent life existing in the universe. Furthermore, the movie explores the idea of the human longing for connection and spiritual fulfillment. One of the things that makes Close Encounters of the Third Kind so special is its visual style. The film's depiction of the alien mothership and the iconic mountain-like shape is truly unforgettable. It helped establish Spielberg as a master of visual storytelling. The film's special effects were groundbreaking for its time and still hold up today. Possibly the aliens at the end are a little bit rubbery. Its visually striking cinematography was shot by cinematographer Milos Sigmund. His and Spielberg's use of light is jaw-dropping. The film features a wide range of lighting techniques, from the intense white light of the UFOs to the warm natural light of the sun. This creates a sense of otherworldliness and helps convey the awe and the wonder of the encounter. The film also makes use of a variety of camera techniques, including long takes, slow motion, and handheld camera movements that help to create a sense of tension and drama, particularly in the scenes involving the UFOs. The film features a variety of special effects, from the miniatures to matte paintings, to create various UFO and spaceship scenes. The use of special effects was groundbreaking at the time and helped to create a sense of realism that added to the film's overall impact. All were done by Douglas Trumbull, who had also worked on 2001: A Space Odyssey and changed the way effects were done throughout the 70s and 80s. The movie was shot in several locations around the USA, including the Devil's Tower National Monument in Wyoming, which served as the location for the climax of the film. The movie was a huge influence on the science fiction genre and considered a game changer for the way it dealt with the subject of science fiction and aliens. Spielberg proved he was no one-hit wonder and confirmed his status as the master of popular culture. The film won Best Cinematography at the 50th Annual Academy Awards and also nominated for Best Director, Best Original Score, Best Visual Effects, Best Actress in a Supporting Role. Eventually, it was selected for preservation at the National Film Registry in December 2007. That was good, wasn't it? I'm still out on the walk. Daisy's having a good time chasing the ball, which is fine. So, at the end of filming and the release of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Spielberg was untouchable, really, both artistically and commercially. with these back-to-back classics of Jaws and Close Encounters. However, that would soon change with his next film, 1941. The story involves a panic in Los Angeles area after the 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor. However, the critics gave it a right kicking. Roger Ebert gave the film 1.5 stars. So for the first time, Spielberg had questions asked about his filmmaking. So his next movie choice would have to really answer any of the doubters. He wanted to make a Bond movie apparently, but then his friend George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, he had a little idea about a certain archaeologist, and we'll be discussing that next. We're at the halfway point of the Steven Spielberg collection. This week I'll be releasing 2 more pieces of art connected to Close Encounters. Spielberg's latest film, The Fabelmans, is released in the UK next week, so that seems a good opportunity to take a slight hiatus, just a week, before coming back to discover Indiana Jones again. Anyway, I'm going to finish the walk, and hope you've enjoyed this week's podcast. Ta-ra for now! Hi, it's me again. I just thought I'd remind you, all of the artwork related to this week's podcast is available on www.basesketch.art. And we're all over social media, so come and check us out. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Once there was a way.
Most of my movies have been a reflection of things that happened to me.
Back homeward.
But in the sense of The Fabelmans, it wasn't about metaphor, it was about memory.
Once there was a way.
Sorry I'm late. I picked up Mrs. Fabelman. Where should I put her?
Get back home. Sleep, pretty darling. Do not cry. And I will sing a lullaby.
What kind of movie are we gonna make?
It's more important than your hobby. Can you stop calling it a hobby?
That has been nothing but disrespect from you. I'm your mother!
I don't know what else to do. Can you help me? I don't want to disappoint you.
You do what your heart says you have to. Because you don't owe anyone your life.
And I will sing a lullaby.